Good day everyone. We are the group 5 and I am KETCH and here we are to have a tutorial about our topic, which is Microsoft SQL Server. So first, let me introduce to you what is Microsoft SQL Server and how to use it. What is Microsoft SQL Server? So Microsoft SQL Server is a relational database management system, or RDMS, developed by Microsoft. It is one of the most popular RDMS in the world and is used by businesses of all sizes to store and manage data. So SQL Server is a powerful tool that can be used for a variety of tasks, including storing and managing customer data, tracking inventory, processing financial transactions, powering web applications, and analyzing data.
Download MS SQL Express Edition. Get started with the installation process by downloading MS SQL Express Edition from Microsoft SQL Server Downloads page. Note, you have to scroll down a little to see the Developer and Express Edition. Choose the Express Edition. Step 2. Run the MS SQL install. Locate the SQL 2019 SSEI Express.x in your Downloads folder and double-click the file. User account control will pop up and ask permission. Then click Yes. Step 3. Select the installation type. With more power option come more responsibility, which and variable requires some technical know-how. Since our goal simply to get the MS SQL database running, select Basic on the installation type selection screen. Step 4. Microsoft SQL Server License Terms. Get yourself a nice copy and peruse the terms of your own leisure. If satisfied, click Accept.
Step 5. Install location. If you are not happy with the default installation location, feel free to install MS SQL in a folder of your choice. When you're ready, click Install. Installation commences. While you were waiting for the installation to complete, here's a fun fact. Back in 2020, Vision Direct commissioned a research study in the UK and US to tally up screen time over a lifetime. A poll of 2,000 British adults revealed the average Brit spends roughly 34 years staring screens. The same poll sent across the fund of 2,000 adults in the US found that they spent 10 years more, or a total of 44 years doing the same. Installation complete. On the final screen of the installation dialog, you have the option to change some of the internal options of your MS SQL installation. Leave the default as they are and click Close. Step 8. SQL Server Management Studio. Our installation is MSQL is now complete and the potential is there to start creating and managing databases. This can be done by entering the following SQL statement into the command line query total. Create database name. But unless you have some experience with the command line or code, you may find it a little intimidating. Not may find only creating a database but managing one or more databases down the line. In typical Microsoft fashion, there is a tool that simplifies the creation and overall management of databases. It's called SQL Server Management Studio. From Microsoft website, SQL Server Management Studio (SSMS) is an integrated environment for managing any SQL infrastructure from SQL Server to Azure SQL Database. SSMS provides tools to configure, monitor, and administer instances of SQL Server and databases. Use SSMS to deploy, monitor, and upgrade the data tier components used by your application and build queries and scripts.
Install SQL Server Management Studio.
Locate the SSM setup here in New exe file in your Downloads folder and double-click to run it.
UAC will again ask for permission. To begin the installation process, click Yes.
Step 10. SSMS installation commences. While the installer is running, let's consider the performances limitations of MS SQL Express. Express can be substituted with Lite, which is why it's free and doesn't carry the restrictive licensing of commercial MS SQL editions. Maximum compute capacity per instance. Lesser of 1 socket per 4 cores. Maximum buffer pool memory per instance is equal to 1410 megabytes. Maximum database size is equal to 10 gigabytes. SQL server agent, no. And step 11. Restart your computer. The end is nigh and all you have to do to get closer to that final hurdle is to restart your computer. Click Restart. Step 12. Launch SQL Server Management Studio. Once your computer has restarted, click on the Windows Start icon and type SQL Server Management Studio. Locate and click on the launcher in the list of apps. Step 13. Connect to your instance once SQL Server Management Studio has loaded. The Connect to Server dialog pops up. In most cases, all the necessary defaults will be in place, which means we can simply click Connect, but it's worth exploring of the provided options if your goal is to delve deeper into the MS SQL data platform. Server type, database engine used for storing and processing data. This is the default which we'll use to create a database. Analysis services, data analysis and mining. Reporting services, create, deploy, and manage reports. Integration services, a data warehouse tool used for data management and migration tasks. Azure SSIS integration runtime, same as above but integrates with Microsoft Azure. Server name, every time you run the MS SQL Express installer, a new instance of SQL Server will be installed. Think of an instance as a warehouse that contains databases and other data sets. Every installed instance has its own server name. This helps keep things nice and tidy when you're running 2 or more businesses. Each business can have its own instance. Authentication. Given that we leave all the defaults in place during the installation, we'll be using Windows Authentication. Click Connect.
Create a database. Once we've connected to our desired instance, we'll be presented with a blank screen. On the left, you should see the Object Explorer pane with your server name, instance name at the top of the tree. Expand the tree by clicking on the plus. Right-click on Databases and click New Database. Give your database a name. The new database dialog appears and may seem daunting. All we need to do is to choose a name for our database in the database name field and click Add. When you've added your database, click OK. A note on database names. MS SQL Server Express will allow you to include virtually any character in your database's name. This doesn't mean it's a good idea to call your database John's Fluffy Animals and Sundry. for example. Some applications may not accept database names containing special characters, including spaces, because it falls outside the scope of an established naming convention. As such, it's recommended to name your database using only the following characters: lowercase a through to z, capital A through to z, 0 through to 9, the underscore, the hyphen. On a final note, security best practices suggest that your database name should be hard to guess. This provides a small but important measure of information security.